Well, okay. I am just gonna assume we're live, but real quick, imagine thinking that Theory was gonna cash in and beat. Imagine thinking that tonight would have ended with Austin Theory, not even Austin anymore. Theory would be the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, the Uwu Champion, if you will. Imagine thinking that. Oh my God, please. I want to say, give me some of your drugs, but like, I actually don't want any of those drugs because, God damn. Anyway, hi, hey, hello, welcome to Market Down Production. My name is Jake, that's Amir, and we're here to talk about SummerSlam 2022, live from Nashville, Tennessee, place that Amir over here has been to 8 times in the past 6 years for no reason, honestly, whatsoever, but that doesn't matter. We're going to talk about SummerSlam and what a show it was. I don't think you can say the show was boring, honestly. I don't think anyone could say that. I think you could almost even say the show was good. Imagine that. I'll start with the problem right off the bat, though. The show did not end at 11 on the dot like the past 3 pay-per-views have. So
the moment I saw that this thing started at 8 instead of 7, I was prepared for a late night, and they really packed it in at the end, didn't they?
They did. The Smackdown women's title match started at like 11. I was like, oh no. But anyway, that's okay. We'll get into that match eventually, but we're going to start off with the main event because that's the thing wrestling podcasts do, so we're not above that, we pick and choose our battles, and that's not one of them tonight. But we're starting with the main event. It was a last man standing match between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar and almost Austin Theory and Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman did not beat the 10 count, by the way, but this match sucked, and then this match got real good. Not real fast, because I thought the first half dragged a lot, even though it was filled with action. It was from the get-go, it was nonstop. And I would put this on the better half of last man standing matches because I'm not a big fan of them, but this one I think worked very well. When this got going at the end, it got going. I would say one of the biggest flaws with last man standing matches is it's kind of boring waiting for the 8 or 9 for the person to get up. But when you hit Lesnar with a spear and then he gets up a 9, and you hit him with the title and he gets up a 9, and you hit him with the other title, he gets up a 9, it actually makes it more exciting because it's like, okay, like Roman's not wasting time. No one's, sorry, we're jumping all over the place, but that's because this match was all over the place. Other than that, nothing crazy happened at all, right? I can't think of anything. Just standard last man standing match stuff, right?
I've seen the ring collapse before. This is the first time I've ever seen the ring be lifted ever. And I said it in our chat. If they're going to keep running these matches, at least they're doing something different with them. And wow, did they do something different in this match?
They really did. And you know what? I think a good part of why I loved the second half of this match so much is because everything they did, they had the ring looming over them in the background, literally like over them.
Yep.
Because it looked like some of the rides at Playland. We were just both at Playland together, obviously at the same time this past week. But it was a spectacle to see. I really can't get over it. It's just a great image to think about, and I think that just made the match better. I don't care what they did after that because everything just looked amazing because it had that in the background. But that being said, there was a lot more shenanigans in that. Theory came out, tried to cash in Money in the Bank, failed because of course he did. Chad, are you kidding me? Oh my God. Oh man, this is just one of your worst takes ever, man. I'm sorry, but some
Poor guy.
The hard way. You got to rip the Band-Aid off now. Same thing goes for Nick. not Rev. He's, like I said, he's doing door to door for a politician right now, so he can't be here. But you know, Theory came out, failed to cash in, but he did get a good shot in on Roman with the briefcase. You know, after Jey Uso, you know, kind of no sold the briefcase.
Thank you. It's been bugging me since Monday. Bugging me since Monday.
That pissed me off a lot.
He was just like, oh, that was nothing. Really? You hit me with that? How dare you? Takes out Brock Lesnar, takes out Roman Reigns, but Jey Uso, man, he should be going for the title again.
Man, he really should. He's stronger than everyone else, apparently. But yeah, so Theory failed. So he was just a lifeless body to be around with that. It's a nice detail I liked, is that when I hate when you have shenanigans, you have people interfere, and then they get taken out, and then they just poof, disappear, and they roll out of the shot. No, like, let the lifeless body sit there. It was great having Heyman's lifeless body, because Heyman took an F5 through the table.
Amazing.
Bro. This is Darby Allin's fault. Because he's a bad influence on Sting, who has now become a bad influence on other people above the age of 60. And it's a bad
so is habit. So Darby influenced Sting, so Sting is influencing other people. It's not just Sting's fault.
No, it's not just Sting's fault. It's Darby's. He's the bad influence that started it. You know, Sting is just an impressionable old man. Just, you know, but Heyman took a very nice F5. You know, it was very clearly, protecting him. Like, he went straight from his shoulders to the table. There was no air in between that, but it looked as good as it possibly could have. So
I have no complaints. You don't see Heyman really take bumps anymore. It's very rare. Like
that. He took a Superman punch, which is not just him falling over. You know, he didn't have to leave his feet for that. He left his feet. Also, kudos to Lesnar. He was picking up Heyman like it was nothing.
That could not. I've met Paul Heyman once. I don't know if I've ever shared this story with you. I've met Paul Heyman once. We used to go to the same Supercuts, and like, of all the people, but he went to my Supercuts, and I saw him coming out. I didn't bother him, but man, we don't body shame here at Mark It Down Podcast, but his old nickname of the Polaris, I got it. I got it.
Yeah, you know, it's like I always thought picking up Hornswoggle was a lot harder than people give it credit for. And Heyman's like, you know, bigger than that. So good stuff all around the second half. The ending was limp as fuck for me. I actually felt like ending on like the Uso, like they definitely fucked up their
the super kick spot looked bad. Yeah.
I didn't really like that. The burying people under flimsy pieces of the broken table and chairs never works for me. I don't like that. But at least Roman stood on top of it, so that's like a nice wrinkle on that bad trope, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
But yeah, the crowd was kind of dead for the first half of it. But once, you know, the ring started being lifted off the ground, they shockingly got into it. And yeah, by the end of the match, the crowd was super into it. They were into all the near falls, which sounds weird to say in a last man standing match, but they got into it by the end, and like I did too. I assume you were into it for more than I was, but
I was into it from the entrance. Just the track. Anytime someone comes out to the ring in a vehicle of any kind, it could be a tank, it could be a lowrider, it could be when the Mexicools came out and on their lawnmowers. I'm a sucker for vehicle entrances. How did I miss Undertaker on the bike? But regardless, when I saw the tractor, I was super into it. Then he parked that tractor really close to the ring, and I got really nervous someone was going to hit their head on that tractor. Like throughout the match, as he brought it in closer to the ring, I was like, wow, someone is going to get sliced fucking open on that tractor. And the professionals that they are, they were all able to avoid that tractor many times.
Oh yeah, at one point he dumped Roman Reigns' body from the tractor, which wasn't as brutal of a spot as it was supposed to look. It looked very, but it's still cool. It's overall, I'm not into this feud. I haven't been for like 7 years. So like, that being said, this was good. Nonsense, a lot of nonsense. Weird to say because I want Roman's title reign to end, but the right person won. Having Theory not cash in was very much the right thing to do. And yeah, I actually am looking forward to what's next, which is Drew McIntyre at Clash of the
Absolutely.
Castle. Do you got any notes on this match? Anything else you want to throw out there?
I've been to multiple Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar matches, and I was there for the first WrestleMania match. I was there for the second WrestleMania match. I was there for the SummerSlam where Roman finally beat him. I was there for a lot of it. By the end, by these last couple of them, I thought, you know what? I don't need to be there. I didn't need to see that live. I already saw it live like 3 times already. This is the first time in a while that I thought, man, I wish I was at that match.
This was way better than their most recent WrestleMania match, which you
absolutely
were there for.
Yes, I was.
That match was genuinely bad. That's not even me like being a hater. That was not a good match. Whereas this one, I would say, was maybe their best match besides the first one, and that's still debatable. You could say if you think it's the best one, I don't blame you, but
I think the first one had a freshness to it, obviously, and an air of unpredictability. But there was one part of this match that I was like, wow, they straight up repeated themselves. And it was when Roman beat Brock to finally beat him and win the title. And it was Braun Strowman came out to tease cashing in Money in the Bank. Yeah. And then it didn't happen. And Brock beat the shit out of Braun Strowman. Reverse it where Roman beat the shit out of Austin Theory. And I was like,
well, it was Brock that beat Austin Theory up the first.
I guess that's fair. Yeah, I guess that's fair. And I loved Roman's little go away line. And don't ever come back. We don't want you here. That felt a little meta, but I liked it. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been a little more meta if he was looking into a mirror, but a real quick shout out to Football Fan 28 in our chat because that actually made me laugh. That comment, he was like, "How much did those? Oh, look at the bottom of the ringside seats cost. Thousands of dollars to not see the rest of the match from that angle. That's a great. I didn't even think about that.
I would be pissed. I would be pissed. Holy crap.
Oh my God. What do you think they did for those? That's fascinating.
They probably put it on.
Yeah, but that's still like really shitty because like you're at least when you buy an obstructed view ticket, it's an obstructed view ticket. Those people bought the most expensive seats in the house, not knowing that was going to happen. So they have to be compensated in some sort of way. That's actually fascinating. I hope we get some reports from fans in the arena.
All the super fans that are there for every show. They were the ones who really
got where screwed. Brock Lesnar guy sits normally?
Yep.
Like
Brock Lesnar guy, green t-shirt guy.
The guy with his mom
The guy with his mom. I love that pairing. I love the two of them. I haven't seen them in a while, but I love them because they're so consistent together.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have strong feelings about those people because it'll just lead to me disliking them because I don't understand how they can go to every single fucking show. But that's a great point, Football Fan. Now we got a new toy set for this. But so I think they delivered. I didn't care about this match, so I think it's fair to say that they delivered because I got into it by the end. So for once, not a limp end into a pay-per-view.
Totally agree.
So that's good. So we're gonna jump all the way back, way back to the 8 p.m. That was yesterday by now. But the show opened up with the Raw Women's Championship match. It was big time. Becky Lynch wearing some sort of homage to the chicken fight scene from Family Guy, I can only take it as, versus Bianca Belair, who were I'm from nearby here sort of gear, and they had a long and albeit a little sloppy, but ultimately a really good match. I will say, I'm very disappointed that there was no 26-second tease for the first 30
Seriously.
seconds of this.
Seriously.
I know they haven't really incorporated that into the feud as much as they've just said it on commentary. But
Ad
they said it
nauseam.
on commentary. So, like, why would you bring it up so much? But that being said, it was a really good match. Yeah, Becky took some rough falls from Bianca's offense. Like all of the clam slams that she does, Becky kind of landed on her side for them.
Yeah.
She was selling the arms. Like halfway through this match, she was like kept grabbing her right shoulder. And I'm like, okay. It's like, I think Bianca's gonna make her tap to her own submission. Like it just felt like they're doing it because Becky was working Bianca's arm, and then Becky hurts her arm in the match from like a ring post spot. So I was like, okay, like that looks like where they're going with this. But no, they just went a completely different and kind of insane direction. Becky took a KOD on the fucking floor.
Yep.
And the match didn't end after that, but that was almost the seeds being planted to what happened post-match because Becky almost babyface like valiantly got back in the ring at like 9.5.
It was weird that Bianca went for it, right?
No, but I think they did a great job because she tried to drag Becky's body back in, but she was too much a dead weight. So she's like, I have no other option. Either we both get counted out or let her get counted out.
That's a fair point. I didn't think about it that way. Yeah, I was like, wow, she's willing to take the count out win. But yeah.
No, and they hammered it home like on commentary. Not too like heavy handed, but they were very much like Bianca's the fighting champion. She wants to beat Becky in the ring. I think it was Corey or whoever was it had to be Corey because Pat had a match, but it was like, oh, like she's not going to have a choice, at this point. So I think they did a good job there. And then, the ending sequence was just as good too. They had of course they had a bunch of hair spots because it's Bianca. You can't have hair like that and not have it incorporated into almost every single one of your matches.
Yep.
Becky pulled her down from the top rope and then hit a manhandle slam for a great near fall. And then she was going for the avalanche manhandle slam off the second rope. Bianca reversed it into a fucking Spanish fly off the second rope.
How cool was that?
It was so smooth. There was no like awkward setup time where you could see them like getting ready to do something. No, it was like, cool. Oh my God, you're about to hit me with your finisher. Nope, I'm awake. Snap into it. Immediate. And then hits the KOD for the win. Great match. Afterwards, Becky's dejected, looking down, but she gets up. She shakes Bianca's hand. Another key, again, with the left hand because she's still on the right arm. So it gives that seed of doubt, like she's going to sucker punch her. It's so obvious she's going to sucker punch her. No, just shakes her hand, gives her a hug, turns face essentially in the process. Great stuff. Great match. Real quick, before we talk about the post-match, because it's important, what did you think of the match?
I love the match. I agree with you. It started a little sloppy, and I was getting a little worried about how sloppy it was. I was thinking maybe they're just very in the moment, so they're missing a step here or there. I was getting worried for Becky. Like she got, like you said, she got dropped on her side a couple of times, and she got dropped on her shoulder once or twice, and it took me out of it because I know that how capable these two stars are. And I know anybody, no matter how good you are, it's possible you're going to screw up or flub here and there. But once she hit the KOD, not on the floor on the outside, but the KOD
barricade
on the barricade.
Yeah.
I think from that point on, the match hit another gear and they both acted like it. So I was very into it from that point on. I was into it from the beginning. But great match, great chemistry between these two. I'm so happy to have a babyface Becky again. I was never not cheering her, but now I'm happy to be cheering her and supposed to be cheering her. So that's cool. And one last thing. Yeah. I loved Becky's facial reaction to the Spanish Fly. She looked surprised that she got hit with that move. And I love when I see that in matches, because it's not something that the opponent or Bianca hits that often or ever, really. And
can't think of her ever hitting it.
Yeah. So I want to see that shock. Like, I'm shocked that I saw it. I'd be shocked if I got hit with it if I've never been hit with it by this person before. So I love that. I love that little bit of storytelling, and it's just why Becky is so good.
Yeah, I mean, she's always been top notch with the facial expressions, which is a big part of wrestling. I think I forgot what other inferior wrestling podcast was talking about it, but they were talking about like the Dante Martin Sammy match, and like, wow, Dante's improved a lot with the facials, and because that's a big part of wrestling. You can do the moves, but if you can't act like they mean something, you know, it doesn't work as well. And yeah, it was an insane counter. And again, I can't stress this enough. It was off the second rope, not the top rope. You know, like, because they've, like, Charlotte and Asuka have done that a few times, and don't get me wrong, it's still fucking insane. But the fact that they did it so smoothly off the second rope so quickly, unbelievable. They were busting out moves that they haven't before, even though they've wrestled each other like 20 times at this point. Like Becky doing I don't even remember what stupid shit Corey called it, but it basically, like, you know, the stun dog millionaire off the middle rope, you know, doing the blockbuster into the stunner kind of thing. They pulled out a lot of different stops, and you know, you could, like I said, you could see Becky turn and face during the match. And then shaking her hand post match almost solidified it. It's like a 90% solidifying it, you know, because like Britt Baker gave Ruby Soho a fist bump after their match at the pay-per-view for the Owen Hart finals, but she's still heel after that. She just gave their respect. So, like, you know, this was like she's probably turning face, but this technically isn't 100% confirmation, but we got confirmation because I don't think this was a huge surprise, but finally Bayley returned.
So happy.
After over a year of being out, Bayley has returned. She has a slightly different hairstyle and color. She looked so excited to be there. The crowd was so happy to see her. It's hard not to be. I think, you know, she's very much like Becky in the sense of she had a career renaissance by turning heel and changing her character. Not that there was anything wrong with either of their characters before their turns, but agree. You know, when you're misused for so long, you kind of
starts to feel that way.
Yeah. So everyone was ecstatic to see her, and it was great. And, you know, the idea of Bayley versus Bianca isn't super appealing to me because that's a match they've done at least 5 times before Bayley got injured. You know, she's like going to be the only horsewoman that Bianca doesn't beat at WrestleMania. You know, Bayley's going to be the one she beats at all the other pay-per-views, but you know, yeah, I'm telling you, I can tell you the women's title matches for WrestleMania already right now, but it's Charlotte, Bianca, and Ronda Becky, like 100%. But
poor Rhea Ripley.
What are you talking about? She's in the Judgment Day. She's
she's not in the Judgment Day, sir. She's leading the Judgment Day.
No, she is the Judgment Day. But oh man, so yeah, Bayley comes out fucking great, she's talking trash on the ramp, when all of a sudden, returning from the future endeavored list, Dakota freaking Kai. I was so happy for this. I popped for this. I mean, I knew she drastically changed her look as soon as she left, but like seeing it on TV was like a shock. Like, oh my god.
She looked like a star. She looked like even though she came out as backup for Bayley, she looked like Bayley's equal. And I thought that was so important, and that look really sold it, I thought.
Absolutely. And she feels, and she comes off more as equal too, because she's not Dakota Kai from NXT, because Dakota Kai from NXT was a mid-carder at best.
Yep.
And, you know, and I'm sad because I actually really like Dakota Kai. But
me too.
she was never gonna be NXT Women's Champion. Whereas like this Dakota Kai has been here for one segment, and I'm really like, she could be Women's Champion one day. I totally buy that.
Yep.
And I'm happy to say that she looked like a star, but that wasn't it. Out came from the about to leave for Stardom list, fucking Io Shirai.
Nope. Io Sky now.
Oh, sorry, Io Sky. Sure.
Don't know why.
I mean, because she's the Sky Princess or whatever it is, Princess of the Sky. I don't know. Io Skywalker came out. I'm not gonna lie, this didn't do it for me as much as the Dakota thing because Io wasn't fired, so
yeah,
it doesn't. I would have switched the order.
I really agree. I think Io would have been a lot better to come out first. I didn't even think of that. Io coming out first would have gotten people hyped, but then Dakota would have blown off the roof that wasn't there.
Yep. So like, I think 100%. Obviously, this is a Triple H. This is his big swing. Like, hey, these are the changes. They are here.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the whole show is not going to be overhauled, but look what we're doing right off the bat. So kudos right there because Dakota Kai doesn't come back under Vince.
Yep.
Io doesn't get called up under Vince. So this was 100% a Triple H thing. So I am interested to see, because if this doesn't happen, because the way this ended is the three of them got in the ring, staring at Bianca like they're going to, just jump her, beat her down a bit. But then Becky got back in the ring and essentially solidified her face turn, and the heels backed off. And yeah, sure, you could say, why did they back off? They have the numbers advantage because they didn't come out there
for a
just
fight.
Come out there to make a statement, and
yeah,
that's fine. I had no issues with that, especially when in their heads they're thinking it's no matter what, it's 3-on-1. So when a wrench gets thrown in the works,
absolutely,
you reassess, you back off, you come back.
And those two people are Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch. They're not Liv Morgan, and I feel really bad saying that, but it's
the
true.
Smackdown Women's Champion, Liv Morgan.
It's true. It's
great example.
Am I wrong? Like that we'll get to their match later, but am I wrong? But like,
you could have said like Shayna Baszler.
I was gonna say Natalia. But I just they buoyed Liv. But anyway, I love that bit, and I think you were going to ask what would they have done if Vince was still in charge, right? Is that sort of what?
Well, how would the Becky turn have gone? Because I don't think it would have happened on the night if Vince was still there.
I think it would have. I just think we wouldn't have gotten Dakota and we wouldn't have gotten Io. I think Bayley would have come out, attacked Bianca, and then Becky would have thrown Bayley out. I think we would have gotten a WrestleMania 18 like bit with like Rock and Hogan and then the NWO. But I think this works better because now nobody looks weak here. Yeah. The two good guys, they stood up strong. The three bad guys just look fucking cool, and they were smart they didn't want to get into a fight. If at worst they were going to do a beatdown on one person, but now they're like, we're good. So I think this played out very well.
I couldn't agree more. I'm genuinely excited for Raw on Monday. Or maybe I'm just excited for the women's division on Raw. Because holy shit, is it stacked. Fuck you, SmackDown, and your stupid women's division.
Yep.
With Liv Morgan, Ronda Rousey, returning Charlotte, and that's pretty much it. And Aaliyah. Good for you. But
not Aaliyah Mysterio, by the way. The other Aaliyah.
But I think there's nothing but good things. Great way to start the show. It got off guns blazing. And yeah, I'm just super excited for this. And I can't wait to see the combination of tag matches and singles matches that are going to come from this.
Yep.
I am curious as to where Alexa Bliss fits into all this, because on Raw she did say she wants next. And it would be really weird if Alexa Bliss faces Bianca Belair for the title. And meanwhile, Bianca and Becky are feuding with Bayley and Bayley and the Huggers. I don't know what their group name's going to be, but like I was saying to some of our some of our friends who like wrestling, who we happen to talk to via text pretty regularly, Dakota being with Bailey makes perfect sense. They're almost the same in the sense of they were these like perennial baby faces. They're just like so likable naturally and just goody two shoes, but not in a negative way, in an endearing way. It's like, how could they ever turn heel? And then they did it, and it was good. I mean, it was great in Bailey's case. Dakota's, it was good, but nothing came from it. But
Yeah.
So I think them being together is the perfect pairing, and EO is just really cool. So fine, like I'm not going to complain too much about that.
Can I confess something to you that I'm ashamed of?
Sure.
After Dakota came out, after EO came out, and then Becky took Bianca's side, I was like, oh, they're going to even the odds. There's going to be a third person coming out. And the markiest mark in me really thought Triple H was able to bring Sasha back. And I did no basis for it. I was just like, there needs to be a third, and he's already surprised us with these two big names that we weren't expecting. And it was, I disappointed myself, and it's not fair to the women. It's not fair to the segment and how good it was. But I was just expecting a third.
It makes sense. I think they're going to keep it 2 for now so that the heels can win because of the numbers advantage.
Yeah.
Because they could do something like Becky did make a lot of enemies since she came back. So why would any of the other faces want to help her?
Yeah, sure.
Also, I don't know how I feel about Sasha coming back. I don't not want it, but I don't want it.
I think we live in a world now where it's very possible that it does happen. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but I think under this new management, it's way more likely that those bridges that seem burned aren't as burned as they once were.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, Triple H is the guy who got Bruno Sammartino to come back and be inducted. So I think it's completely possible. I have mixed emotions about it. Because as much as I agree with Sasha for taking a stand, I don't like the idea of her coming back and getting rewarded for quitting.
I guess that's fair too.
I think the whole point is that you're supposed to become a martyr, and you do that so other people can rise and reap the rewards of that. Like, Punk didn't go back. If I don't know who else has quit on that level. I mean, if Mox, that's why I say if Mox goes back to WWE, I lose mad respect for him.
I think it's just one of those, I don't know if I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, but we're living in a different world now. Like, that was Vince's regime. I don't want to say it's going to be a completely different company because it's clearly not, but the Bruce Pritchards are probably on borrowed time. Johnny Ace, who was the big problem in this Sasha situation, is gone now, So if the people who were causing problems for you at work are gone, I don't think you going back to work diminishes that. If anything, it's like you outlasted the person who gave you shit in the first place. But
did she? Because she was gone first, so
I guess that's fair. I just don't ever see him coming back. But we're getting off topic.
I don't know. And you notice how we didn't talk about Naomi there because she's a
who cares? Yeah, who cares? That's what I'll say. Who cares?
Yeah, let's be real here. Naomi's not making anything better or worse. She's just fine. She's good, but that's the end of that. But yeah, no, I think eventually they get a third. Maybe it's Alexa Bliss. That's it. There's no one else it can be. Everyone else is so far beneath those people. There's Asuka too, but she just feuded with Becky for 8 months, so it'd be weird if she just joined them.
Yep.
But then again, you know what? Becky and Bianca have been feuding for a fucking year, and they're about to join forces, so they could do that. But that means Asuka's taking all of those pins.
Nope, not cool with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not cool with it, but I've just accepted that. That's just the world we live in. That's it. Asuka's last title reign was her last title reign.
Don't say that. Don't say it like that. That makes me so sad.
Yeah, I never said it out loud, so I'm a little sad now too. But so that was look. We spent a lot of time on this because to me, that was the most exciting part of the show. Ring being lifted off the ground,
Yeah, notwithstanding.
After that, I guess we can talk about it. But Logan Paul beat The Miz because he obviously beat. Like, come on! If you thought again, I don't want to show anyone. I don't think anyone picked The Miz in our group, but if you thought Miz was gonna win this match, go back to school. It's summer. Just go. Show up tomorrow. No, show up Monday. It's Sunday. It's not be open. Show up Monday. Fresh start. Why would Miz beat Logan? First of all, in real life, I think Logan Paul can beat Miz in a fight easily. Like, not even like it'll be close, just easily. Even though everything I'm about to say, keep in mind, Logan Paul is a douchebag.
Yes.
Don't forget that. But Logan Paul is a bigger star than The Miz. He's a bigger star than everyone in WWE, honestly. That's depressing, but that's
it really is. That's the world we live in, though.
Yeah, that's just what it is. It's out of my control. I'm not going to complain about it like a bitter old person. I just don't have to ever deal with it. This is the only time I have to deal with Logan Paul. So
yep.
As long as I'm commenting on it now. He's a bigger star than The Miz. And you know what? He's pretty much already on The Miz's level in terms of in-ring ability. Phenomenal forearm, notwithstanding. He did everything right in this match. Everything looked good. Everything looked crisp. He's not a babyface, but he got the crowd mostly on his side by the end because the match was good, and he did the Shane McMahon spot towards the end of jumping off the top rope through the Miz, through the table. So, and he, of course, he beat the Miz. Ciampa interfered a bit. AJ Styles came out, took out Ciampa, and then fucked off because he didn't want to be seen with Logan Paul after the match. It's understandable. Even though it'll do numbers for your Twitch subscribers, AJ. But
is Logan Paul a flat earther too?
I'm sure he could be convinced. He looks like he buys into things people tell him. I'm really upset. I wish Sammy's conspiracies paid off and Logan Paul could have been a part of that. Like that they had something there. But match was it was okay to good. Logan Paul is really good at this. I said it earlier, I genuinely think he's better than Miz, but I am a little bit of a Miz detractor, but that's also because of how much people in this podcast group defend him. But I actually kind of like Miz as a person. So,
That's fair.
I'll show him all I want because I think he's an okay guy because he's okay with being the butt of the joke, and those are usually the best type of people. So speaking of that, Amir, how did you feel about this?
I too do not like Logan Paul, but I will 100% admit he killed it. He impressed me in a way I was just not expecting. Like, we saw in that WrestleMania match that he's athletic. And we knew, obviously, even before that, with his fight history, we knew he was athletic. But to see someone hit a moonsault onto the outside, to see someone do a frog splash from the corner to the table, that takes a lot, that's not something that your average everyday athlete can or will do. So it was, I will, all the props in the world to Logan Paul, as much as it may pain me. I don't think I'll ever be in a position to cheer him, but this match, earned my respect a little bit. As a performer, he earned my respect a little bit. And
100% agree.
I need Ciampa away from Miz as fast as possible. That definitely feels like a Vince McMahon thing, and I'm really hoping Triple H just gets him the fuck out of there. Unless Ciampa likes it. If Ciampa likes it, Godspeed. But I am excited for Tommaso versus AJ Styles. I don't think that's a match I've ever seen before. And
I think it happened like 3 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, he squashed him pretty easily. He beat him pretty easily.
Oh, woof. Well, there you go. I'm getting
So,
back into Raw.
yeah,
I'm
he
getting
was.
back into Raw.
Look, just give up on Ciampa. Okay, if anything, be mad at him because how many times did he say in interviews, "If they call me up to the main roster, I'll just retire." What a fucking liar! All right, put your money where your mouth is.
He's the guy who leaked all the Vince McMahon news. He was like, I want that main roster money, so I'll go there, but I don't want to deal with him. So let's just get him out of there. Ciampa's the hero of the story now in that version.
Yeah, that's true. I like that. I like that. But yeah, he's just let it go. Hope that Johnny Gargano comes back. Otherwise, Ciampa's a goner. He's too old. They're not going to push him now. They've already ruined him. He's lucky to the Miz. It's all downhill from here. But yeah, anyway, Logan Paul did a good job. That's that. After that, we had a really pointless match that did not actually need to be on the card, and it's Bobby Lashley versus Theory. Just Theory.
Yeah, I got to agree. I unfortunately have to agree.
Yeah, I mean, nothing happened. It wasn't noteworthy. It almost wasted time. We could have given more time to the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Also,
they had the same amount of time. They had. I looked it up. They like 10-second difference in the two matches.
Yeah, so you could have doubled the SmackDown Women's title match length.
Yep.
And not have this. I mean, Bobby Lashley won because, of course, he did because Theory is Mr. Money in the Bank, which means he can't win matches anymore.
Yep.
I don't like it. You don't like it. All right, 25,000 viewers in the chat don't like it, but those are just the rules. Okay, I don't make them. You don't make them. We just blindly enforce them. Okay, and that's just how it is. Pointless. Do you have anything to add? I feel like why waste time on this?
I don't really have anything to say. All it did was make me think. All it did was make me know that Theory was going to come out later in the night. Yeah. That's all it did. I knew that he was going to come out from that point. Like we already kind of knew, but we knew the moment he tapped. Yeah,
I mean, we also would have known if he wasn't on the show in a match because he would be fresh and but whatever. We're gonna move on to another match that's actually kind of pointless, but at least the end was an angle, so we can talk about that. And it was the Mystery O's versus the Day of Judgment, and it was a no DQ match, but you could have fooled us for the first 8 fucking minutes. Seriously.
Match. Seriously.
If it's a no DQ match, why do you have to tag in and out? What are you going to get DQ'd if you don't? It's
the only justification for tagging in and out is that you want to be the legal person for the pin, but there's no reason to stay on the apron at all.
And there's no reason that Rio shouldn't have been beating up Dom the whole time.
Yes.
Because she did take out Dom at one point in the match, and it was the most believable thing in the world. Look, I don't know how many people that are going to come across this are misogynists or not. Okay. And if you are, no comment, because I don't want you to leave the stream. We're too desperate to virtue signal right now. But, even if you're a misogynist, you can't tell me that Dom Mysterio can take Rhea Ripley in any sort of fight or test of strength. She can fucking squat him, no problem. I think even the Miz could beat up Dom. Like that's how low I think of Dom Mysterio.
We talked about it in our chat. It's so weird because before I even get to that, I had a friend watching today who is a lapsed fan. He's somebody who used to watch when he was a kid, hasn't watched really at all in years, and tonight was like his day one back into the product. I was watching with someone who had the freshest of eyes as they were watching this show, and he was he remembered Rey Mysterio from when he was a kid, and then he was touched that Rey was teaming with his son. And I felt like the biggest like buzzkill by saying, yeah, well, you know, it'd almost be better if this was a handicap match. But I was explaining that it's Dom has all the mechanics. He has all the fundamentals. He can go in the ring, you know, he could do some very impressive stuff in the ring. But it's so clear how underdeveloped he is as an overall package. And he can't cut a promo. He's got to work on the look.
He has no facials.
He has no facials whatsoever. He kind of always looks confused. Yeah. And he needs a style that is his own, not just copying his dad.
Or his other dad.
Or his other dad. Especially when one of his dads is doing it in the ring at the same time, better. So this is what I brought up in our chat. All you need to do is look at AEW and Hook and see what it means to be a second generation talent, or in the Mysterio's case, a third generation talent, I think. And how they slow burned Hook and how they fast tracked Dom and how Dom suffered for it.
True. I mean, I would say Dom started strong with his match with Seth Rollins at SummerSlam 2020, I want to say. You know, that was actually good. And it's been all downhill from there. But yeah, I mean, the tag title win was nice. That's sweet.
Yeah, I agree.
But I can't take him seriously at all. God, this is so harsh to say because, like, who the fuck are we to, like, say this, but I think he's in the wrong line of work.
I think I think he's someone who should have been in NXT. I don't know why I know why he's not in NXT. It's because of his dad, but he should be in NXT. And no joke, no sarcasm here. He should be wrestling in a mask. It was Bryan Danielson who said when he first started as a wrestler, they had him wrestle under a mask because he couldn't get his facials down. And then working under a mask, he needed to figure out how to emote to get the crowd behind him. And he said it was one of the best things, and he thinks almost every wrestler should wrestle under a mask at one point or another. Dom is somebody who needs to wrestle under a mask, I think, and it'll help him so much to get across better with the crowd.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, he's also, maybe we're being harsh on him. You know, it's kind of cool that there's like a walk-in talking chipmunk that can wrestle, you know?
Jesus. You know, maybe we are being hard on him. I don't know.
But yeah, anyway, I don't want to talk about this match that much because it wasn't good. It was just nothing. It wasn't bad. It was just a lot of
keep going.
Nothing. Yeah. Oh wow, you don't say. I was just gonna sit here awkwardly until you got back. You know, everyone could see this, right? We're not on speaker view. But anyway. So yeah, the match was nothing. The Judgment Day are fucking terrible now. But that being said, because it was a no DQ match, Edge made his short-awaited return. And oh boy, did he look stupid. What's up, John Blattner? But yeah, Edge looked like he was going through his third midlife crisis, and that's like somewhat concerning. He came out and he cost the Judgment Day the match, which he didn't really need to do because the Mysterios had kind of beat them twice already, so they probably would have been fine.
Yeah.
But oh boy, do Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley look so dumb for siding with Finn Balor. Who, like, how is he losing even more now? What the fuck? I just don't get it. Because, like, they talk about Finn on commentary like he's a huge deal, but then he loses all the time. But yeah, Edge made he used a flaming Cody Vader to make his entrance, and it was okay. Like, that was cool. He looked like he was a vampire from the 90s, which makes a lot of sense.
Giving the gimmick.
not the way he used to look like a vampire in the 90s, but like he was on Buffy or something, you know?
Great show. Great show. Well, Angel was. But
Wow. Don't hate on Buffy. What the fuck? I've never seen it, but you know, it's a beloved show, so how dare you?
my bad.
But you know, he made his return, and I don't know what the point is now because he's already cost them the match, so they've already just lost. So what are they gonna do? Feud with them and lose more? Is he gonna face Rhea? Because that's like the only thing I'm into. Honestly, I think we're gonna get like him and Beth versus Rhea and Finn.
That would be good.
I'm into that. I'm into Beth Phoenix coming back at any point. You know, I want her to face Rhea. I want her to face three people, and it's Rhea, Becky, and Bianca. And the Becky one's only because they had like
the Twitter feud.
Yeah. But you know, the Rhea and Bianca ones are obviously, you know, you want to have those matches. But so yeah, if that leads to that, I will genuinely enjoy it. But until then, I'm not into any of this. What did you think?
Unpopular opinion, I prefer Edge with short hair.
Oh yeah, I mean that looked fine. That looked fine. I just think the overall look was like,
yeah,
dude, are you like in Wild Hogs or are you
like? It was legit like it was Brood Edge meets, good reference, Brood Edge meets Rated R Superstar Edge. And those are two gimmicks that should, like, they can work with, I think, a different younger person, but I don't think it works with nearly 50-year-old Edge. And God bless him for still being able to go in the ring. I'm so happy he got to unretire and do things his way. But I think he has been kind of struggling to figure out what works for him. You know, Judgment Day was going to be good, and it got weirdly supernatural, weirdly, I'm going to make fun of your local sports team heel. And that's not a good mix, like ever, you know, ever. And
imagine the Undertaker making
right
jokes. But anyway, sorry.
No, you're right. And that's what he was doing for a little bit. And then, you know, babyface Edge, I like cheering Edge. So I like when he's a babyface, but he's so much better as a heel. But I don't know. I'm hoping, look aside, he's going to have gotten everything together and everything is going to work with him now. But I need him, like most people, I need him away from the Mysterios because nothing good is going to come from it. And
yeah, I mean, I think the best case scenario, the best this could have been is if Dom turned on Ray and joined Judgment Day.
I agree.
Have Edge and Ray, because if it's just Edge and Ray, I'm into that.
Yeah.
You know, but Ray's always like, oh, can my kid come? Like a babysitter, you know? But yeah, Edge is, I think the Judgment Day would have, if it played out the way Edge wanted it to, it would have been really good by the end of the year, and we would have had a great payoff down the line. But as of now, they're retribution. They're just this year's retribution, and the sooner you get Rhea out of there, the better. Which also the whole women's thing, all that shit going down, is like, bro, what? So we're not gonna get that Rhea Bianca feud, I guess. Maybe for a while. Maybe that's a Mania feud, but like I already predicted where the titles are going to be. Actually, now I think about it,
we're going to get Rhea versus Bianca for the women's title and the Street Profits versus Judgment Day in a tag match. And both the Street Profits and Finn and Priest are going to look secondary to Bianca and Rhea, as they should at this point.
Honestly, though, I think Montez is close.
I think he's close, but I like Dawkins, but as long as he's in that tag team, they've got to stink on them at this point. You know,
I know what you mean. I don't fully agree. Well, maybe after tonight, but we'll see. But like I think they work very well together.
Yes, absolutely.
The sooner you break them up, the worse it ends up being for both of them.
Really? Montez too.
Yeah, because I think they're gonna break it. They're so eager to break him up, and then they're not gonna do anything with Montez for like a year. And then
Well, that's
they'll
just
get
because
bored
that's
with
who they are. Yeah, that's them.
Yeah. So it's like there's just no reason to don't do it until you're gonna push Montez. Like
Fair.
like but
In
they're
a
not
post
gonna do that.
in a post Roman Reigns world title champion world, you could do it. I think right now, don't do it.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, I could be mad. But yeah, I already said it's gonna be Bianca Charlotte. And then Becky Ronda. But we'll get to that. Yeah, whatever. Edge is back. I'll be interested to see what he says on Monday, see how he handles this. But yeah, this needs to end. Retribution 2.0 needs to go away. But moving on to a match that I think delivered for the most part. We're going on to Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin. And we both played football in college, and only one of us really played professionally. I know Corbin was technically on the team, or at least in the camp. But Pat McAfee never hit it big at Vegas, so they're pretty even.
Yeah. So one's work, one's luck. I don't know what Corbin is.
I don't know either, honestly. But McAfee had a big entrance. He had a choir singing "Bum Ass Corbin" to Corbin's entrance, and then singing "Oh" in the same tune to his entrance, which wasn't Seven Nation Army this time. So I'm a little upset by that. But the choir thing was cool.
It really was.
Yeah. This was a spectacle. I think Pat gets wrestling pretty well, and he understands how to make things, like I said, a spectacle. He beats Corbin after a decent little match, as decent as a Baron Corbin match can be. It's a weird combination of having literally the best offensive moves in wrestling, but being one of the more bad wrestlers in wrestling. It's insane the balance that Corbin walks. He's a bad wrestler with the most amazing moveset in the history of wrestling.
He needs to be able to string them together better. That's it. That in between the moves, he needs to do more, but I don't even know what that more is. It just, for a guy who's go ahead.
He needs to do less, actually.
Really?
He needs to do less wrest holds between moves and just
hit
the moves without having fucking a shit ton of time in between. Because, like I said, everything he does is cool. When he slides out of the ring around the turnbuckle, slides back in, it's a clothesline. Indie as fuck.
He has
indie as fuck.
Amazing.
End of days, indie as fuck.
He has the move set of a babyface.
Yeah.
But he wrestles. Yes, and he wrestles like a heel too with those wrestles. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Oh God. For a guy who revamps his character as much as he does, he needs to revamp his character. Just turn face. He's been a career heel on the main roster. He had that brief couple of weeks as a babyface when he was down on his luck because fans were actually digging him.
Because he did something interesting, yeah.
Exactly.
I was one of those fans.
Yeah, no, I liked it too. I liked Corbin for more than other people did, but I also fell out of love with him, and I'm not ashamed of saying that. And I want people to like him because he's an interesting guy, and I think I love his moveset. But why are they turned everybody else babyface at some point? They turned Elias babyface at some point. You could turn Corbin face for a couple of months to see how it goes.
Oh, he also does the choke slam into the backbreaker. I like that.
How good is that? That's so good.
Yeah, everything. It's so Corbin's an anomaly of wrestling. It makes no sense. Why isn't he better? I don't get it. He's so good at so many. It's weird, but whatever. We gotta not get too caught up in this. Pat McAfee wins. It was sloppy, but still good. Cool. I don't have anything else for this. We're getting McAfee versus Logan Paul in Mania.
I don't think we are.
It's 100. It's guaranteed. It's happening. That's the money match.
I got to give a lot of credit to McAfee and Corbin because Corbin definitely helped him out throughout it. But there were a couple of times that it looked like McAfee was going to like lose his footing in a situation, or he was going to slip, or he wasn't going to nail the move, but he never did. And I got to give that to him as an athlete, as a former football player, that his core is as strong as it is, because there were a couple of times that he jumped to that top rope that I was terrified that we were going to see a bad botch, and it never happened.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think Cole was really worried about that too. And one of the positive things I will say is that Pat McAfee makes Michael Cole better.
Absolutely.
It's actually endearing to see how much Michael Cole likes Pat McAfee. It does not come off as like it's just so genuine. Like and it definitely is, because he went on McAfee's podcast and Cole never does interviews. Like that's he went out and he wore a tracksuit when he did. That was like the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. Because I had to watch, I couldn't not watch it. But he makes Cole so much better. And I think Cole took a little dig at Vince McMahon. And I think it was in this match where Corey was like, I liked it better when you didn't have opinions. And Cole's like, well, that's changed. So that was.
I think that was this one. Yeah, I think that was this one.
Yeah, if Cole starts doing like that, I can get behind that. It's also because I don't watch SmackDown, so I only really hear Cole on pay-per-views that I don't mind him as much, but McAfee makes him so much better.
Cole delivers when he's not being overproduced. I think he is actually a very good announcer, or commentator, but he's
for the love of mankind.
All right, that was classic.
No, that was so forced. That was like the most cliche thing. It wasn't even just cliche. It was just like so forced. Like, he might as well have said Vince McMahon's baby boy. Like, it was terrible. That was one of the worst calls he's ever made.
All right, but anyway,
because it was so forced. But
anyway, I do love the excitement. Like, you see McAfee all the time standing up when he's getting excited during a match commentating, and Cole's starting to do that too, and I think that's amazing. But regardless, I love that Cole called out, I'm not going to be biased. He's my friend. Corey's not going to be biased. Or no, Corey's going to be biased. He's his friend. I love that bit. I thought that was great.
I thought it made the commentating actually bearable for once and entertaining.
Yep.
I thought that actually worked really, really well. Because Corey Graves has become insufferable to a degree. So this was like good, insufferable Corey Graves, but it's like, this all makes sense. I had no problems. This match was almost really good. It's just it's Corbin at the end of the day.
Yeah. I also don't know what move McAfee finished with. It was like a weird hybrid of like a Panama Sunrise and just like a Code Red.
I think it was just supposed to be a Code Red, but there was like a pause on the flip. It was botched, but it definitely was he was jumping into a Code Red. Yeah. So it was like a combination of that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but it worked. It still worked, it shouldn't look super smooth. He's not a wrestler, but it looked good and it was interesting and good for McAfee. He bounced back from his loss.
Yeah, I mean, he'll never get his win back, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, maybe not in wrestling, but in life, he'll probably get the win. He's just got to wait a little bit longer.
We're getting the Logan Paul and McAfee match. That's happening, but they both have claims to I think Logan Paul got Sasha Banks' last interview before walking out, and Pat McAfee got Vince's last interview before walking out. But so that's what the feud could be based off of. But moving on. We're moving on to the tag team title match.
Well, before we do,
sure.
Did the surprise segment happen before this or after this?
That's a great question.
I don't remember.
I think it was after, but I don't know.
All right. So we'll do the match and then we'll do the segment.
Yeah. You know what? Let's just do the segment because I'm going to forget about it.
All right. Let's do the segment then. Go for it. Are you
talking about Riddle?
Yeah.
Yeah. So cut to Kid Rock in the crowd.
Oof.
Look, I know I said earlier I don't want to isolate any of our viewers based on their fan base, but I'll do it to a small portion. If you like Kid Rock's current music, you are lying. You are forcing it so hard. You're forcing it more than that for the love of mankind line we were talking about earlier. Like it's just not good music. And you just like it because you like the message, I guess, which is a whole nother can of worms, but you know what? To each their own, and I'll leave it at that. But the music isn't good. The most objective part of this is the part I have the issue with, apparently. But yeah, he was there looking like he's gonna die in the next 10 years for sure. And then Matt Riddle comes out, almost like Seth Rollins coming out at that takeover a few years ago. And he's mad. And he wants to fight Seth Rollins because he's not medically cleared and they couldn't have their match, which I'm honestly glad they did because they didn't need to take another L in this pay-per-view. But
Yep.
he basically did it in a way because Seth Rollins came out, answered the call. The babyface called up the heel. The heel came out and just beat him up pretty fairly, pretty cleanly.
Yep.
And decisively because, oh boy, Riddle's a chump, unfortunately. This is why I don't want this feud to happen because they're both coming off a lot of losses. And now one of them has to keep losing. And it's obviously going to be Riddle. So
Even Cole called him out. He was like, honestly, this kind of falls on Riddle. He probably just shouldn't have come out in the first place. And it's like, yeah, he's right. He's absolutely right.
But this was a cool segment. This again felt like another Triple H sprinkle on this pay-per-view. So that was good. And then that's it really. That's all I have to say about it. Just Riddle's a chump, unfortunately. Sad to say, but moving on to the tag team, or moving back, who knows at this point, to the tag team title match. It was the Street Profits versus the Usos versus Jeff Jarrett in a why match. I mean, you know why it's in Nashville, and apparently people from Nashville are really proud of people being from Nashville, which as a New Yorker doesn't make any sense to me.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Fuck Long Island.
Yeah, JBL resides in New York. I think I'm cheering for him. I think I'm cheering for Crime Time because they're from Brooklyn. Actually, yeah.
Yes,
but,
yes. For multiple reasons. Yes.
Yeah. It was so crazy. Just brought up Crime Time. You brought up the Mexicools earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Like, it's weird, but hey, these stereotype gimmicks in those particular cases
really worked
and got people over.
Didn't win the tag titles though. Not once, which is ridiculous.
Biggest fucking crimes ever. Oh my god. But anyway, yeah, I'm be honest with you, this match was good. It just wasn't as good as their Money in the Bank match, so I don't care that much.
Yeah.
And also the Usos won, which I think was the wrong move. I think you should just give it to the Street Profits because they're so over it. If you really believe Montez Ford is the future star, put the tag titles back on the Street Profits because you need to do something with him while there's nowhere else for him to go. Like, he's not going to beat Bobby Lashley for the U.S. title. He's not going to beat Gunther for the IC title.
Where was Gunther tonight? Holy shit.
He's not going to be. He might not ever. He'll probably be at the Rumble. And if they do this Raw vs. Smackdown Survivor Series, but I don't think he's going to be on pay-per-views, honestly.
That's crazy.
I think he's weirdly going to be pushed really hard without ever really being pushed. It's going to be like, he's going to be well protected, but never super pushed at the same time. But I think the wrong team won. The match, like I said, just wasn't as good as their last match, which was one of WWE's best matches of the year, potentially. So, I guess we can't fault them there, but I'm just sick of the DUI brothers. Like, I don't think they deserve it anymore. I think it's diminishing returns. I think, again, I said this in the predictions, if you just have them lose the tag titles, it sows that seed of doubt in the crowd's mind that Roman could lose too, that everything could fall apart in one night. But now, again, it just feels like nepotism at this point. And how are tag teams supposed to get over? Are the tag titles really in a better spot now?
No, I
No,
agree.
like
I'm all for
nothing's made
those.
better.
I'm all for those titles being unified. I don't think there's enough tag teams for it not to be unified,
Yeah,
but they're just being held hostage by like in the main event. It's whoever Roman's feuding with more or less is gonna get sucked up into it, and that sucks. Brock Lesnar notwithstanding. But I don't know. I too am ready for the Usos to drop it. I think they're gonna drop it at Clash as well, but I wouldn't be surprised if they drop it even before we get to Clash.
to who though now?
That's maybe a returning Rand. No, because Riddle's gonna be feuding with Seth. Um, I don't. I honestly don't even know what the tag team division is looking like. It's not going to be the Mysterios. It's not going to be Judgment Day.
The Viking Raiders, but they're heel now, so that wouldn't even work.
Yeah. God, it's going to be Logan Paul and AJ Styles.
I was gonna say AJ Styles and Dolph Ziggler because they were weirdly teaming up on Raw.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could be Logan Paul and AJ Styles. I have only minor issues with that, honestly. At this point, I think I'd take almost anyone over the Usos. So I don't know.
Is there an NXT team that could get called up?
I wouldn't know. Toxic Attraction.
There you go.
Who, you know what? Honestly, I feel like if Vince was still here, they would have been the ones that came out at the end of the Raw Women's title match. I wouldn't have hated that, honestly, but you know.
Yeah.
I think Mandy Rose has earned a recall up and a push, you know.
I think so too.
And I'm a big Gigi Dolan fan. And then there's the other girl who's fine.
She's there.
Yeah, 100%. She's definitely there. Yeah, do you have any other notes on this match? Jeff Jarrett was whatever. It was, I don't know. It's just a repeat of that I'm just not as excited about because I don't like the results.
I think it's an example of what WWE has been for a long time, where you have very talented people doing the same thing over and over. So it doesn't matter how talented they are. I'm going to stop caring. And I think that's been WWE's problem as a whole for a while now. And I love the Street Profits. I think they're amazing. I think Montez Ford is a megastar. I like D'Angelo Dawkins a lot. And as fun as it is to rip into the Usos.
D'Angelo Dawkins.
Did I say D'Angelo? I meant I got D'Angelo Parker from AEW. I like Angelo Dawkins. And as much as fun as it is to rip into the Usos, they are a talented tag team. They are. Yeah. It's just they've been doing this for too long. And if you're a tag team in WWE, you're either going for the tag titles or you're not doing anything. And it sucks because they're always going to be doing something because they're part of the bloodline. So they're always going to be tag team champions. It's gotten stale, but yeah, fine match, good match, and nice entrance by Street Profits, which they always have a nice entrance.
Yeah. That's the other thing. I don't want them to break up because I love their entrance and I love their music, and I don't want them to get shittier, more generic music. But you know, it's like I'm starting to hopefully just keep beating this into people's heads, and I'll bring it up constantly in any discourse. But how are the Usos making anyone better? I think that's ultimately the question. Doesn't matter whether the person is good or not, because that's my thing with Charlotte. How is Charlotte making anyone better at this point? You know, and that's, you know, where I can say that, you know, I don't always want to use Becky as an example. Like I said, Becky has made a shit ton of people look better in the year she's been back. Like I can say that AJ Styles has made a lot of people look better. I can say that Seth Rollins has made a lot of people look better, especially people coming over from AEW. But you know, you can't say that with the Usos. They've made every tag team feel microscopic. The New Day are nobodies. And like it's insane. Like if the New Day went up again, I wouldn't believe for a second they could win. And they're not making anyone better. So That's my gripe ultimately with them. Was that's also my gripe with Roman because I feel like Roman was making people better in the first 8 months of his title reign, and ever since then it's been downhill.
I
Besides
agree.
Brock Lesnar, but that's I don't want to compliment someone for making Brock Lesnar look better.
Brock needed that rub, man. He did. He really did.
I mean, he did to an extent where he felt revitalized and refreshed for the first time in a long time, but needs a strong word. But yeah, whatever. Moving on to the last match of the night for us to talk about, because we talked about the last match of the night, to the Smackdown Women's Championship match between Olivia Morgan, I'm going to assume Liv is short for, versus Ronda Rousey. And, okay. So, to explain it to you the best I can, for all our people in the chat, which is just John Blattner, but Liv is extremely likable, borderline lovable, but she's kind of a jobber.
Yep.
And she's kind of been treated like a jobber. And she lucked her way into a championship, and it was a feel-good moment, and everyone loved it, and it was fantastic. You won't find many detractors from that. I don't know, except maybe like Road Dogg, I assume. I don't know. But I'm just assuming he might have complimented it. I'm just based on the track record and the short time. Actually, no, AEW didn't do this, so he probably would have complimented.
It.
So
Yep.
never mind then. He's going the Booker T route, so never mind. And Ronda Rousey, I don't even explain to anyone who that is. Everyone at least knows who Ronda Rousey is. And so them wrestling in a clean, straight up one-on-one match, it's an interesting balance because Liv just won the title. You don't want to take it off her right away, but you also don't want to beat Ronda Rousey because it's Ronda Rousey and you want to protect her. And I get that. And I think what they went for was the right idea, but a bad execution.
Yes.
And it's this minor detail of, because the finish of this match was Ronda locking in the armbar and Liv sort of turned it into a roll up, but Ronda just ended up on her back. The ref counts the 3 and Liv taps. The way this is supposed to work, the way Punk and Bryan have done it, the way many people have done it, is that the 3 count happens as or right before the person taps. Either it's right before, so the person who got screwed has a gripe but technically did lose, or it happens at the same time so that no one's wrong and everyone's right.
Yep.
But what happened here was the count was at 2 and Liv tapped. So Liv looks like a chump who got lucky that the ref fucked up the call. That she's supposed to be the lovable, like never give up baby face who fights hard. And Ronda's screwed. The only thing I liked about this was that after the match, Ronda attacked Liv and then attacked the ref and, went a little crazy. Turn and heel, which I think is very necessary.
Yes.
And I'll take that, especially because, like I said earlier in the night, I think we're slow. The first seeds in the Becky Ronda match at Mania is them switching roles because you just can't have it the other way. It will never work. And that's okay. And this was the first sign of that. But oh boy, do they have to do something to rehab Liv, because literally before today, I thought without a doubt Charlotte will come back and Liv will get this huge victory over Charlotte. Whereas now if Charlotte comes back, I think she's gonna win the title.
I think so too.
And
it sucks.
I just don't want to believe that, because I just want to believe they'll finally learn about that, but I don't know. I'm going to talk myself out of that right now. Lacey Evans will beat Liv Morgan for the title, and I'm okay with that, honestly.
It's different.
Yeah, I think Lacey is overdue a title reign, honestly. I think she should have won it like 2 years ago. So,
I mean, one of those years was her fault. She had a kid.
One of those years was Ric Flair's fault. But, oh, God.
Oh no! I was just gonna comment on the match. I hate that trope. They did it with Sasha and Charlotte in their Iron Woman match, where
did they?
Yeah, Sasha tapped out with just a few seconds left to go, and then it cost her the match because then it went into overtime, and then she lost again to Charlotte.
Yeah, in the last couple of seconds. I think that's different. I think that's even worse. It makes Sasha look so pathetic because both times she had the last like 5 more seconds and she wouldn't have lost the match. So I think that's actually a way, way worse example. I mean, the trope's done. But yeah, I think that's actually even worse than this trope.
In my mind, if I'm champion and I've got someone in a pin, I would rather you break my leg or break whatever. What was she in? She was in an arm bar. I would rather you break my arm than lose the title. Like, that is the idea of your champion. You're going to do everything you can to defend it. And if you're a baby face, especially, you're willing to go through the damage of it. And it's like the idea that she couldn't literally last 1 more second before tapping just feels like, in my opinion, Ronda should be champion. Like, I mean, no, it's not even an opinion. Like, she should be champion right now. The ref screwed up. But I'm also going to comment. I loved seeing Ronda put that referee in the armbar. That referee in particular has annoyed me for years because of his facial expressions. He always looks confused. He's always like, what's going on in this match? Is this wrestling? And it's just bothered me for years. So for him to take that as a personal thing, it made me very happy. And I'm a simple man, you know. If I see a wrestler expertly beat up either security or referees, I'm going to enjoy it. Fuck 10.
Oh yeah, he'll never learn unless we keep reminding him.
Yep.
But like I said, I think the ending was dumb, but at the same time, I do like that Ronda's a justified heel.
Yes.
And I think that's a good start into rehabbing Ronda, who is, you know, kind of been off the boil since 2019. But you know, this is a good start to get into where they need to go. I liked one thing they brought up on commentary, because again, commentary was overall better this show.
Yes.
Because they said, well, don't count Liv out yet. She's one of only 3 people to have beaten Ronda Rousey. You know, and that company is Becky and Charlotte. So, you know, that alone put Liv on another level. Whereas if the finish was a little different, she would feel like a much bigger deal. Whereas now it feels like we're counting the days until her title reign comes to an end, which it's fine. I didn't expect her to have a long title reign, but I don't know. I knew this would end in shenanigans. As much as I like Ronda being a justified heel, I just think you didn't have to make Liv look so weak.
I'd say
if you had her, like, I don't know. I don't want to try to book a better finish on the spot, but like if you just had her not look like a dweeb about it, like even if she cheated like as a babyface, just like, hey, there's no other way I could beat this person, I think that's not great, but that's better than this. I don't know.
I think literally just have her tap out at the 3, make it a draw, because the draw still goes to the champion. So just have it go to a draw, have her retain via draw, and have Ronda just demolish her because of frustration. You know, if she wouldn't be as justified, but she would still have an argument that she beat the champion. But they had to overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
Shockingly.
Yeah, they could have done that and then had a rematch, and that's when Charlotte comes back and she interferes, and then you do a triple threat, and then Liv beats Charlotte in the triple threat. And then even though Ronda never lost cleanly, that's still like 3 matches in a row, so she doesn't get another one. And then you move on. Like there was ways around this, and this kind of was one of the worst ways to get around this. I don't know. But great question, John. WWE fans vied with Ronda in 2015 at WrestleMania 31. And when she first came in,
I'm going to say something that might upset you.
No, it's okay.
She suffered from the same problem Roman Reigns suffered from. Just like Roman Reigns wasn't Daniel Bryan, Ronda Rousey wasn't Becky Lynch.
Why did that upset me? That's the kind of thing I say all the time, and I've said
Okay,
that
no,
exact
fair.
thing before.
Oh no, I wasn't. Well, I mean, I know about the Daniel Bryan Roman thing. You said that before. I didn't know if you'd agree about Ronda Becky, because I think fans really only started turning on Ronda because of Becky.
Yeah, 100%.
And
That's why I was
just,
getting to that. Like, it
yeah,
was
fair
when
enough.
she first came in, and then when she came back up until 2019.
Yeah.
You know, or really the end of 2018, but we'll just, since it was like November, we'll round up.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what ruined her career. And then because she couldn't take being booed like a little baby.
And that's the difference. That's the difference between her and Roman. Roman was a professional. Ronda couldn't handle it professionally. Like on a real level, she couldn't handle it. And that's insane.
It really is. What a weird. And then, you know what, just a tip for Ronda, we know for a sale Reddit, like it's, can't handle that. Oh boy. But yeah, she had a good run. And even the way it ended, it was a little weird, but it was the right thing. The right person won, and like the outcome was good. But then, yeah, she went off the boil, and then her return was botched severely. And, you know, she also, there's all the Sandy Hook stuff she said and everything like that. And, you know, I didn't prepare any jokes, so I won't try to freestyle any, but, you know, I don't want to deny her, you know, that's all I got. I don't even have the end of the sentence for it. But yeah, she was she had a good run. I won't say it was all bad. It was half good, half bad. And she's a star ultimately, so it paid off. Everything. We wouldn't have had Evolution.
We wouldn't have had a women's main event for WrestleMania if it wasn't for her.
Yeah,
she opened that door.
I think we would have, not that year though, but maybe like.
I think you need Ronda to. I think you need Ronda to open the gate.
Yeah.
And then everyone else is able to keep that gate open, but she still needs to be able to she needs to be the one to get fans to buy that it makes sense. Because I loved Sasha Bianca, I did, but to buy that as the first women's main event, what would have separated that, you know? So
it wasn't. That's the thing. It just wasn't. You know, not that it couldn't be, but it wasn't. Nothing about it. There was no build to make it feel like a main event. There was nothing.
The match itself was main event worthy. Like it was a great match, but I agree. The feud didn't separate itself to be a main event.
And the way I'll put it is, if WrestleMania wasn't 2 nights, would they have put this match on last? No, they wouldn't.
Nope.
The only match I could see that they would is a Fatal 4-Way with the Horsewoman, honestly. Which now, you know.
Yeah, now who cares?
Probably isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
No, I think now it would be even better because they're all bigger than they were.
I guess that's fair. Yeah.
But I don't, you know, I don't know if Sasha's coming back. I don't understand why she would. Just go make Mandalorian money, you know. But yeah, that was the show. Overall, I feel like I complained more than I complained watching it, but you know, got to keep up appearances. But it was a good show. It was like a 3 out of 5, 3.5 out of 5, something like that. If you say 4 out of 5, I won't even think that's crazy.
I gave it a 4. The main event to me pushed it really up high. The main event and the opener. Yeah.
It was, that's the thing. It was bookended so well, and that's sometimes all you need. And none of the stuff in between was egregious, besides like some of the finishes and some missed spots here and there. But yeah, good show. Better SummerSlam than last year, I think. I don't remember much from SummerSlam besides a 26-second squash match.
Yeah. What was the main event?
Roman faced Brock Lesnar last
year. I don't want to think so, but now I have to check and be sad. Hold on. Oh God.
Was it John Cena?
It was Cena.
That was a year ago already. Oh my God.
So Brock came back a year ago.
After the match. Yeah. Okay.
So this has
Oh
been a
my God.
year going. Oh,
Fucking kill me. Holy shit.
so tomorrow makes today now, 700 days of Roman Reigns as champion. When he first beat the Fiend.
That's gross. Yeah, like I said earlier, like I just said, kill me. Oh God, unrelated to wrestling, by the way. But anyway, that's our show. Everyone, subscribe, comment. Don't share. That's weird to share like an hour-long fucking podcast. I would judge you, and even though you're doing me a favor, unless you've already shared. If you showed when we went live, that's a whole different thing. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, have a good night. Stay safe. Be nice to animals. Don't drink and drive. James is gonna wrap. We're getting there. We're one subscriber closer to getting there. And yeah, have a good night. I love you guys, most of you anyway. I'll leave that up to you to decide who makes the cut. Yeah, get home safe. Goodbye.
Gotta make sure I know how to do this. I do. Bye.